In today's video, we're going to discuss about getting to the core of your problem. Hi, I'm Dr. Brett. I'm here to make a difference in men's lives by allowing them to deal with their shit, moving forward and becoming the best possible versions of themselves. I just want to let you know that getting to the core of your problem is one of the most important things you can do if you are struggling on a day-to-day basis when it comes to life in general, your past, mental health struggles, all that sort of stuff comes back to dealing with the issues at hand. And a lot of times, and not always, but a lot of times, there's some sort of core issue that's been eating away for a long period of time. And if you don't deal with that, then it just festers away and festers away. And we just cope with what the problem is. We never deal with it. We sort of fluff over it. And that's what I did for a long time. I just dealt with my issue in a very superficial way, and it just kept coming back. And I didn't deal with it in a really, really great way. I'm just going to straighten that camera up a bit. There we go. And what it did was just caused a long, prolonged agony, really, because I lived in pain for such a long period of time. Instead of dealing with it properly right at the start, I pretended everything was okay and I just coped. I got through life by coping and just fluffing through it. So basically what happens, the flies are loving my ears today. I do apologize. And it's obviously a beautiful spring day out here, and the flies are friendly. So where was I? Yes, getting back to dealing with it properly. I never dealt with it properly, so I just fluffed through and I just coped with life. I struggled. I was surviving. I wasn't living, really. So what I've learned over the years, over the last few years in particular, is that you have to deal with the core problem. And I read an article just recently and watched a video by a doctor called Dr. Gabor Mate. I think it's pronounced Mate, M-A-T-E with a little hyphen. So it's like cafe. So it's not mate, I don't think. He's a French Canadian. And he is an expert in addiction. And one of the things he says is addiction is not addiction is only a symptom. It's not the fundamental problem. The fundamental problem is trauma. And that goes back to a lot of things, especially when it comes to talking about depression and anxiety. I know that's not always the case, but in a lot of cases, if we don't deal with our core problems, our core issues, our core trauma, then what's going to happen is it's going to fester. And like Dr. Mate says, it is the fundamental problem when it comes to addiction, because at the end of the day, people are just trying to numb themselves with the addictive issues that they have, and whether that's drugs or alcohol or whatever the case may be. And some of the trauma, like mine, was child abuse, but it could be being abandoned, it could be being abused both physically and mentally. And this can happen both to men and women. Rape can also happen to both men and women. The loss of a loved one or a death of a loved one with short notice, or even, when you don't, it's just someone you love so dearly you don't ever really get over it. And then you've got serious accidents, motor vehicle accidents, for example, and then you've got bullying. And then don't forget the people who work on a day-to-day basis dealing with trauma, the police, the AMBOs, the fireys. And then, of course, we've got our servicemen who've been away and they've had to, in the act of perform duties, and in the act of their duty, they've actually had to see or do or be involved with some traumatic stuff. And if you don't deal with that traumatic stuff, it's just going to eat away at you and eat away at you. And it'll just fester away, and you just cope and you just survive. You don't actually live life. So you have to get to the core of the problem. And if you don't, it's just going to cause you some long-term issues. So I really, really urge you to take that first step. Make the decision to actually get some help and talk to someone about it and deal with it. So I'm going to leave you on that note. In the meantime, please make some comments, share these videos. People need to see this. Men need to see this. Men need to hear this message. We need to deal with our stuff. We need to move forward and become better brothers and better fathers and better sons and better husbands, better partners. Okay, so let's become the best versions of themselves to make a better community. And don't forget to, if you need to, and you need to chat and you want to discuss some of your issues, please jump onto my Facebook page at Dr. Brett Deller. There's a little area where you can actually book in a half-hour free call. I'm happy to chat to you for half an hour and have a bit of a discussion about where you want to go and what might be troubling you in your life. And I really urge you to make that first step. So until next time, peace and love and healing to you, and enjoy the rest of the week. Bye.